Hi class, it's Mr. Smith. This week we're going to finish up our financial literacy notebook. It is going to be a fair amount of work. The good news is this will be the last week of work and I'll give you the last few weeks of school to catch up on missing assignments. I know that can often be a problem with distance learning. It's easy to miss something. So just take a chance and look through your assignments and go back through anything you're missing. Make sure to check Infinite Campus and Google Classroom closely. All right, so let's start with the notebook. At the beginning, it's going to ask you to pick a career. So you might have an idea what you want to do. You might have no idea. Either way, you're going to go here, follow the hyperlink, and you can either type in what you want to do if you know already. That can be pretty easy. If you don't, there's some ways to search and find careers that you might be interested in. Anyway, just pick something. So for me, I'm going to put teacher, since that's what I wanted to do. And I'll go to secondary school teacher. And it gives you some information about the job. And then down here, it tells you the average salary. So even though you might make anywhere on a wide range on the scale, and you probably would start off making less, we'll just take the average salary for this assignment. So that's $61,660. And I'm going to take that number, I'll put teacher here first, and I'm going to divide it by 12, so I have a monthly salary instead of a whole year. So get out some calculator, whatever you want to do, an online one, on your phone, whatever you want. So I'll do 61,000. Was it 660, I think? Yep. And I'll divide that by 12. I got a number here. Just round, don't worry too much about the cents. So I'll do 5,138. That seems like a reasonable number here. 5,138. So that would be the monthly amount I would make. Unfortunately though, we got to pay some taxes. So taxes we're going to estimate around 25%. So if I take that 5,138 monthly number and I multiply it by 0.75, that will be the number I'll be left with. So I'll take this number and I'll multiply it by 0.75, and then I'm given this number, and again you can just round, it's fine. So I'll say 3,854 rounding up. All right, part 3. You're gonna say if you want to go to college or not, and if you go to college, you might need a student loan, and you have to think about what your career choice is as well, because for a teacher, for example, college is going to be a requirement for that. So for this one, I put a hyperlink in here as well. We're going to go to Tuition Tracker, and this is a pretty good resource because it shows you not only what the listed tuition is, but what you can expect to pay based on your family's income and other factors. And of course, there's other ways you can get academic scholarships as well. So you can search by state if you want, and then they have some information here about degrees and how big of a school you want, all that information. So you could actually do some thinking about that now if you wanted, or if you have a school in mind. I already went to school, so I'll put my school here, the College of Worcester. That's where I went. And you see the sticker price is really high, but the net price, what people actually pay, is a lot lower. That's because it's a smaller private school, so they tend to give pretty big need-based scholarships. So let's say what you can think about what bracket your family falls into for the income. So let's say if I use this one, what I could expect to pay in 2021, around $28,507 a year. So now I'll go back to the financial literacy notebook, and I'm going to take that number, 28,000 507, and I'm going to multiply it by 4, the 4 years it'll take to get my degree. So I'll have a number, 114,028, copy that, and then I'm going to go to the loan calculator. So follow that link, and I'll enter that number in. I'm going to set the number of years to 20. That's the average number of years for a college loan, and 4.5%, it's already set at that. That's usually what you can expect to pay for that. So let's see what we got here. Not sure. Because it's the, okay, let's calculate. Okay, so that's going to be my monthly payment. So I can take this number and just enter it in here. So step 4 asks to how much you're going to have left after taxes and your college loan payment if you have one. So for that, get out the calculator again. So just keep it open, you'll need it a lot. And I can take that second number because that's how much I left after taxes, 3,854 minus 721, and I could just round it. I wouldn't need that 40 cents. So I'll say 3,133. Okay, so next part is you're going to decide where you want to live. And for that, I mean, I could make you go look up different apartments that are listed in Columbus, but just to make it a little bit easier, since this is a lot of stuff, you can just use this list. And this will kind of give you estimates on what things would cost based on what you want. So you can look at luxury apartments, nice apartments, older apartments, and then a variety of different homes. So just pick one. So maybe I'll pick, say, spacious apartment in a quiet location, 2 bedrooms, and then it's listed as $1,050 a month. So I'll take that one. And I will go ahead and write that in here that I chose that. And it'll cost $1,050 a month. And then how much money do I have left over? So to find that out, just go back here. You've got your number, 3,133. That's what I had. So whatever you have on for step 4, take that number and subtract by your housing expense. And enter that right here. All right, and we're going to go on to the next step, which will be transportation. So you have a few options: walking, taking your bike, or taking a bus will save you some money, but obviously it's going to be easiest to have a car, although it's going to be the most expensive to do that. So I'll take you through that process if you decide you'd like to have a car. So first you're going to decide what car you want, and this will take you to Kelley Blue Book website. And Kelley Blue Book is a really good website for buying a car. It will give you a range on what a car you can should cost, what you can expect to pay. So it's what you pay is probably not going to match up exactly with that, but at least you'll have some knowledge going into whether it's a dealership or buying a used car, what would be reasonable and fair to pay. So for this, you could search by new car if you want a new car. You could search for some older cars, some used cars. So maybe I'll search new car and I'll just go to sedan, and you can see different varieties of cars. So maybe I'll just go with like a Honda Civic. And just go with the base model, the lowest price here. And then you can see fair purchase price. And it's going to give you a range that you could expect to pay for this. So I'll just go with the kind of the middle price. They gave you a fair purchase price for a new Honda Civic, $19,664. So next you're going to go back to the loan calculator, and I'll enter that price, $19,664. And car loans are usually a lot shorter than college loans, and they also have higher interest rates. So we're going to set it at 5 years, and we'll set it at 5%, which is still a pretty low price for buying a car, but it's a bit higher than we set for our college rate. So that's fine. So let's calculate that, and that will be $371. We'll just, like I said before, we'll just round, so we're not dealing with all the cents. So $371, and then I'm going to add $50 for paying for gas. So $371 plus 50 equals $421. And then I'm going to see how much money I have left over. So my answer from step 6, how much money do I have before I had 2,083 minus 421. And now I'm down to $1,662. All right, almost there, on to the last couple pages here. Next, I'm going to calculate utility bills, heating, cooling, that sort of stuff. And to do that, just take your rent. So for me, that was $1,050. That was from answer 5. Up here. And I'm going to multiply that. We'll say 10% of that is an estimate for your utility bills. So clear that. 1,050 times 0.1, and that's 105. So 1,050, and I'm left with, so it's 105 for utility costs. Then you can think about some other expenses you're going to have: phone, internet, TV, streaming services, that sort of thing. So I'll go through. Maybe you can expect to pay. Maybe if you can get a really good, decent phone deal. I'll say $50 for phone, $50 for internet. I'm going to pass on having TV. And maybe for streaming stuff like Netflix or Hulu, that sort of stuff, I'll spend $10 a month. Next, you're going to do food costs. Decide how much you spend. The average American spends $200 per person on groceries each month. And then you can think about how much you want to spend on restaurants. So maybe I'll just say for myself, I spend about the average. So I'll say $200. $200. And then maybe I'll go out to eat 5 times a month. And we'll say I spend $20 on average. So that would be $100 extra dollars. So the cost of groceries, the cost of eating out, I'd be looking at $300 a month eating out. Next is if you want a pet. So let's say I like having a pet cat, so I'll add $30 a month to that. And then I'm going to add all these up. And I guess I could just put a total here for these so I know. Don't have to add them up individually, but so 105 of the utilities, plus 110 for internet, phone, and streaming services, plus 300 on food, plus 30 for a cat, and then it equals 545. And then, again, calculating how much I have left. Just go back to the last time you calculated that. That was over here. So I have that number 1662. Minus 545. And now I'm down to $1,117.